Oh man, today is the release date of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and for anyone who's been around my channel for a while, you'll know that COD is kind of the foundation stone of my channel, if you like. And to be honest, I wasn't even excited about it until this morning, really, when it's supposed to be coming. So I thought, okay, I'll do a commentary in the meantime, just while I'm waiting for it, and then hopefully get some live commentaries done. But you're not here for Call of Duty, you're here for Pokemon, yes, me too. Gonna lead off with my Solrock as he leads off with his Superior, and that is a horrible matchup. I can't do anything to Superior, so I figure I'll switch out to Flareon. Now, if he goes for Leech Seed or Taunt or Sub, it's not really a big deal, and since Superiors tend to be normally special attackers, the best he has to hit me with is probably Hidden Power Rock. So I figure, okay, I can go into Flareon, go for a Flame Charge, and if he switches out, that's fine. +1 Flareon should outspeed the majority of NU, unless it's like Swellow or some Scarf Pokemon, whatever. But in comes the Seismitoad, which normally would be a good switch into Flareon. However, I have the Facade, and with the Guts boost, that is going to do a hell of a lot of damage and take out the Seismitoad. Now, Flareon here. The good thing about Flareon is that it does get access to Baton Pass as well, so if you feel like you're in a dodgy situation and you can't really take out whatever comes in, you can just go for a Baton Pass and switch out to whatever. So I go into Grim here, figuring, okay, I don't know what to expect from Shuckle, but I may as well go into Grim, hopefully get a little sweep from there. But unfortunately, he does go for the Power Split, which is fine. I didn't really know what Shuckle tended to carry, but Power Split makes sense. Now he has the Contrary Shell Smash, which actually is very interesting on Shuckle. Not only do you get the lower speed for, you know, increased gyrable power, obviously the main benefit is you're getting the increased defense stats, and it also pairs up quite well with Power Split, because if you're lowering your own attack and special attack, you can effectively Power Split and do more damage to their attack stats, so it's actually quite interesting on Shuckle. But in comes the Licky Licky as I go for a Toxic. Now I'm just going to knock off his Eviolite. I didn't actually notice until I watched this battle back, but this is a really, really bulky team. We got, what, Lickitung, Superior, Shuckle, all this kind of stuff. It does take a while to wear this kind of team down, which is why the battle's so long, but he's going to go for a Wish and pass it off to his Purugly in case I go for some kind of attack. Now, I do understand why he made this switch, because Purugly does get access to Thick Fat, so Ice Beam would be doing next to nothing to this guy. And it looks like he is a bulky set anyway, because he has the leftovers and he has Sub, so more than likely a bulky attacker. But in comes the Articuno, speaking of bulky attackers. Goes for an Agility, and I go for a Disable next turn, hoping he'd go for Hurricane to try and break my Sub, but that doesn't happen, so now I'm kind of in here not really knowing what to do, because Articuno will easily win a 1v1 match against Glalie. However, I decide to stay in, see what he's going to do, and it turns out he does indeed have the Hurricane. Takes out Glalie, and now he's down to 50%-ish, so I figure, right, I can bring in Flareon here. If he goes for Roost, then I will outspeed next turn thanks to the Flame Charge. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I could live a Hurricane, although we may never know. I have no idea if I would actually take a Hurricane, but he misses, so that kind of works out for me. Flareon has base 130 special defense, I think. But it is an offensive set, so possibly Hurricane would have killed. And if it did, I don't know what I would have done from there, but you know, that's what you get for using Hurricane. It is a bit of a dodgy move. Now I go into Solrock here to hopefully go for a burn or get my rocks up or whatever. In comes the Purugly again, which definitely works out for me. Get the burn off on that, and it's really not a threat now that it's burnt. Now Solrock, I believe I'll need to keep it around just for this Purugly, because I think we find out later it only has one attacking move, which is, I think it's Return. Just a really plain, like, normal type move. But it has Sub, it has Home Claws and Hypnosis, which is actually a pretty cool set. I thought about using a Home Claws, Sucker Punch, Return kind of Purugly. That'd be kind of cool, but in comes the Shuckle. I go for rocks just because I can, and the great thing about this is that every time Shuckle comes in, it'll be taking 25% because it is the bug rock type. Now I go for Flame Charge on the Shuckle here, and he goes for a Shell Smash just to boost those defenses to ridiculous, over the top levels. I mean, what, Shuckle has base 250 or so defense, so you can only imagine what that defense stat is going up to right now. Now I bring in Tentacle because I don't think he can do anything to Tentacle, so I can just go for a Toxic on whatever I feel like. In comes the Lickitung. Now the great thing about this for him is that his Lickitung has the Heal Bell, so he can get rid of the burn on the Purugly and the poison on him at the same time. Goes for the double protect just to stall out a bit more poison, which I thought was a bit cheeky, but I guess he was leaving Lickitung in to die anyway. Go for a superpower, and that is going to take out the Lickitung. That's great. No more wish passing, no more heal belling, all that kind of stuff. Now it does leave me with the problem that Flareon is, I think, going to die to poison this turn. And it definitely would have been helpful for wearing down, you know, Superior, Purugly, whatever. But, you know, that's what Protect's there for. I mean, you want to wear down people with poison, fine, whatever. In comes Purugly, and I bring in Shiftry. Now at this point I was still thinking he might have the U-turn, and in which case I definitely do not want to take that. But it turns out he goes for sub, that's fine. I figure from this point I can just try and break the sub with a Scold, and then hopefully go from there. Now I did see the Hone Claws, and from seeing the Hypnosis earlier, I kind of see where this is going, and I do not like the look of this because Hone Claws Hypnosis Purugly is definitely faster than most of NU, and it is pretty bulky as well, so it can potentially do some real damage to my team. So I switch out, go into Shiftry here because I do have the early bird, and if he does put me to sleep, that's not too big a deal because I can just wake up hopefully on the first turn sometime later and go for an attack from there. Now I do decide to stay in here predicting the sub, predicting my switch back into Tentacle, but it turns out he goes for return and just straight takes out Shiftry. I don't know what investment he's got in attack or HP or whatever, but either way Purugly's pretty strong and Shiftry is definitely not known for his defenses. But now it does mean he can get off a free Hypnosis on anything else because, you know, Sleep Cores, whatever. Tentacle goes to sleep. This is definitely not the situation I want to be in because he does have, you know, the potential to wreck most of my team just by repeating this process over and over again. So I decide if anything's going to pull me through this, it's going to be Solrock. Solrock here, with the Levitate, with the Will-O-Wisp, with the reasonable attack stat, is actually going to be quite good at walling this guy. Given that I've already got Tentacle asleep, all he can do is go for return, and that's not going to do too much to Solrock. So I can go for EQ, take out the sub, and next turn I can just finish him off with another EQ. Now this is great because I think all he has left after this is Superior and Shuckle, I think. And Superior can probably be dealt with Tentacle, and Shuckle, don't know, it'll just be a long stall war I guess, trying to kill it off. So Purugly goes down, that's great. Definitely do not like killing the cat Pokemon, but it's got to be done sometimes. Superior comes in. I do not want to take anything from Superior, so I'm going to switch out, go into Grim. I don't know why I thought Grim was a good switch, but I guess I thought, oh, maybe I can take a Leaf Blade and then go for attacks from there. Or maybe I was just death foddering him off, I don't know. But it goes for SD as I go for a Crunch, and that does sort of just over half, I guess. And the great thing is he doesn't have leftovers, so from here I can go for, you know, a Sucker Punch later on. I really should have gone for it here, but I maybe expected something else. So I go into Solrock, just sack him off, and I'm in a bit of a predicament here because if Superior has the... like, if Superior actually manages to beat my Mightyena, I really have no answer to him because Tentacle is still asleep, and what can Tentacle do to Superior anyway? So it goes for Taunt, I go for Sucker Punch, you know the deal, just a general, oh, who can predict better, who can decide who's not going to go for Sucker Punch, whatever. I think eventually I luckily managed to come out on top of this because he goes for an SD, and I go for a Crunch, I never know how many sucker punches you're supposed to go for before you go for crunch, but I kind of figure, okay, whatever. This particular turn, I will go for crunch and just hope he doesn't go for leaf blade. And it works out. I thought I'd actually sped this bit up, but apparently I didn't. Not going to go back and do it now. Eventually, he does go for the taunt. No, sorry, on the next turn, he's going to go for SD. Then I go for a crunch, and that takes out the Superior, which is excellent, my friends. Down goes Superior. I get the Moxie boost, and now it is just Shuckle versus the world. However, I thought it'd be the end of the game here, because I can go for sub, I'd be immune to Toxic, and he literally can't touch Tentacle. However, for some reason he's staying in here and just trying to, I don't know, stall me out for some particular reason. It could probably PP stall me if it really tried, but I thought for this particular bit I would read you an extract from one of my favourite poems, The Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. "'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son. The jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his Vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the Tumtum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1-2, 1-2, and through the Vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with his head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Calloo, Calais, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Well, that's the end of the poem. Somehow it takes us right to the end of the game. So, after that long stall there, eventually he runs, and I guess for the better, because that could have gone on forever, really. So, really good game. Kind of stally towards the end, obviously, but apart from that, I thought it was a pretty fun game. So, hope you all enjoyed, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.